Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to C&C Reviews. This is our, fourth week on YouTube or whatever. But nonetheless, C&C Reviews. I'm, of course, your host and creator of the show, Caleb Johnston. And if you aren't familiar with C&C Reviews, basically what we do is we review a couple movies. They're not recent movies because of the fact that we can't really, go to the theaters and stuff. So it's kind of two, somewhat classics or just some random movies I found on Netflix. So we usually review 2 of those a week.
What's if you want to donate me movie passes? I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You want to donate us free gift cards to fucking theaters, then there you go. Then we can see the recent movies. There aren't many, movies that are out right now I want to see, though.
I can't think of any movies that are out right now. Oh, well, no, the Lego movie. But then again, I don't think that's still in theaters now. I don't know. But,
all the movies I want to see that I haven't seen from last year are coming out on DVD next week.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm so out of date with movies, and pretty much anything mainstream I'm completely out of date with. I mean, when someone asks me if I've seen this movie, and I'm like, I've never, and it'll be the biggest thing to hit the internet, and I will be the last person to hear about it. Because I am just...
That's why we have the movie news segments.
Exactly. So that way I'm kind of in tune with what's going on. A few years ago, I was on top of everything. But now it's just I can't even keep up.
Yeah, and it's just, again, with C&C Reviews, basically 2 movies on Netflix, talk about movies, TV, game news, with, little snippets I can find. And then we do a top 5 every week, whether it's related to wrestling or media. This week, it's the first time we've ever done a non-wrestling top 5, so there's that. And then we won't for the next couple weeks. And then I ran out of ideas for wrestling top 5s, because after 23 consecutive weeks, well, except for there were 2 occasions where we didn't. So for 21 consecutive weeks, we did those top 5 wrestling ones, and after doing 21 wrestling top 5s, it's really hard to come up with other ones.
Mm. So now
I don't even know how I came up with 25 of them.
So now
or 21, whatever.
Now we're finally expanding our horizons, people.
Which I did promise that for season 3 we would do that.
Exactly.
And basically, then we discuss Raw. We discuss wrestling and whatnot. So there's that, and we usually mostly just talk about Raw. And then I always am watching Main Event live while we're doing this on mute. So, hey, Dolph Ziggler versus Big E for the Intercontinental title is going to happen, which, if you're not aware and you're like, well, no, it was Christian. Well, no, Christian apparently suffered a minor concussion, so they had Christian, Big E, and, no, not Big E, or not even Christian, what the fuck am I talking about? They had Ziggler, Sheamus, and Del Rio, triple threat winner faces Big E. Ziggler won that match, so he's getting the match later tonight. So, next 20 minutes or whatever, so that'll be cool, and... if I probably won't bring it up unless Ziggler wins the title. I'll probably just blurt out, "Holy shit, Ziggler won the title!" But let's start off the show here,
live reactions, people, kind of.
Yes, live ones. Okay, basically, let's start off the show tonight with I'm sorry, I just fucked up my words there. We are going to start with Spider-Man 2 movie review. Spider-Man. Oh my god, the tag team title match for WrestleMania has been announced, Jamie, and I'm scared.
What is it?
The Usos versus Ryback versus the Real Americans versus Los Matadors.
At least they're doing a 4-way tag team match like I thought.
Yes, we've been talking about this for a long time.
So yeah, so I am happy that they are doing a multi-man tag team match of sorts. And I give them credit because it's the 30th Mania. They're getting as many people on the card as possible. With the Battle Royal that you are the most excited about as far
Dude, I can't wait for that Battle Royal.
As far as I know, you're the most excited out of anybody. So yeah, the 4-way tag team match, and then you've got the big time matches. You got Cena and Wyatt, Bryan, Triple H, you got the title match, you got Lesnar and Taker, so overall it's looking like a pretty good show.
It is, and we will definitely have 8 matches announced so far, which is awesome.
That's great.
And then they've got 2 hours of pre-show to announce, because the tag team title match it doesn't say pre-show. None of the matches so far have said pre-show, and they always, or kickoff, and they will say pre-show or kickoff.
And
so it's one of those things where you've got to wonder what match or matches they'll announce for the pre-show.
And the pre-show, and people, I mean, like, you know, we'll get to more of this later on, but the pre-show this year is 2 hours long. Yeah,
that is insane.
2 hours of pre-show plus the 4 hours of WrestleMania. That's 6 hours. You know how much 6 hours is in a day if you want to break it down into fractions? 6 hours is
I will be starting, WrestleMania starts where I am at 4 o'clock.
Where I am, the WrestleMania pre-show begins at 6 o'clock, and the WrestleMania show, the actual main show, begins at 8 o'clock. This is crazy. Like, this is 6 hours in... I mean, okay, like, you know, like I said before, 6 hours in a day, you want to break it down into fractions, that is a fourth of your day. So WWE wants to take up a quarter of your whole day. Now, apparently...
I'm totally cool with that, though, because I don't have anything planned that day.
Oh, yeah, me neither. But apparently, like, the first hour is going to be on like the internet, like, you know, YouTube and whatnot. And then the second hour is going to be on the network, or vice versa. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah. Anyways, the bottom line is 6 hours. They want to suck 6 hours of your day out of you. I mean,
that is going to be insane.
I give the planners and the producers props for doing all this. I could not plan 6 hours. I mean,
they've got to have. They'll probably have 2 matches on the pre-show. One in the first hour, one in the second.
More than likely, yes. And then, like, the rest will be, like, build up and, like, interviews and whatnot. And, you know, they'll show, like, promo packages and such to fill up time. I mean, they've done that tons of times in previous years, so.
Exactly. And, you know, the more I think about that tag title match, Los Matadors aren't bad in the ring. So that'll probably be pretty decent.
The 4-way tag match, if they don't have any other matches to put on the card, they should make it elimination style like they did at 18. Now, I think something like that would work because like, you know, if you really want to fill up time, you know, you just make it so, like, or you make it elimination. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Bad News Barrett's on the main event.
Well, that's good. Is he wrestling, or is he on his podium?
No, he's on his podium, man. They don't let him wrestle.
Of course, yeah. I think that's part of, like, Barrett's new contract deal now. You cannot wrestle. You just gotta stand on your podium. Yeah.
Nonetheless, moving on from... Oh, fuck, we kind of got off track there. Starting off with the movie reviews, I had to tweet someone something. Going on to the movie reviews is... First up is Spider-Man 2. Now, last week we reviewed Spider-Man. Next week, Jamie, you don't even know about this, but we're just going to review every Spider-Man movie, like, in order.
Oh, great.
That was kind of the plan.
Yeah, I think
Spider-Man 3,
because...
how shitty that movie was.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, when you told me saying, oh yeah, by the way, we're reviewing Spider-Man 2 this week, I'm thinking, like, next week we're probably going to review the third one, and then we're probably going to review The Amazing Spider-Man at some point too. So, but yeah. So you know what? Well, why don't you begin?
Okay, so basically Spider-Man 2, plot, simple. We don't have to explain how he became Spider-Man. We already did that last week. So Spider-Man, he's cool. He's all like, hey, Kirsten Dunst, let's bang. But no, none of that happens. And then basically, you know, James Franco is super butthurt that his dad died, and that he thinks that Spider-Man killed him when he really didn't. Kind of killed himself on accident. But if you consider that a spoiler, this movie came out 12 years ago, Spider-Man 1. So calm yourself. And besides, it's not like it should be some big surprise that Green Goblin kills. But you've seen Spider-Man 2 or 3, you know Goblin killed himself in the first one. So it's just one of those things where Spider-Man 2, you know, and he's all like, oh yeah, I'm doing this shit, and then fucking Doc Ock's all like that. I'm not calling him Dr. Octopus. I'm not. It's Doc Ock. I didn't even call him Dr. Octopus as a kid. I don't care. Doc Ock. It's Doc Ock. It's a dumb name still. Doc Ock. It's so simple. It's less of a mouthful. And basically, he's got these fucking... do I have to explain what Doc Ock is? Do I really... Like, he's got the... Oh, basically, Spider-Man villain you see in the cartoons. He's got the big arms, the metal arms.
He's basically a scientist with four, like, newly attached limbs as arms. And basically, the arms are controlling him. Or, yeah, the arms are controlling him. Because this is not the real scientist. And you know what? This is going to say I forget his name. Octavius?
Yeah, Octavius.
Octavius, there you go. So, yeah, it really isn't Octavius. It's the arms that are controlling him, and it's the arms that are making him do all these bad things, like robbing a bank, and, you know, taking Kirsten Dunst, and holding her hostage, and, well, not really hostage. Well, yeah, still. And, you know, doing all, and, like, you know, doing all of this crazy criminal shit, and even going as far as to dropping Peter Parker's aunt off the top of a building. So
yeah, it's really fucked up, man. He goes fucking psycho when he starts. The tentacles start. He starts hearing voices, but I don't think it was the tentacles talking to him. I think he just has some sort of psychosis going on. And I'm not talking about the awesome Mexican wrestler. He just has, you know, some sort of form of psychosis where he's hearing voices. Because I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that machines could speak whenever they don't have like an automated system. It makes no sense. I don't know much about machines, but I'm pretty sure if you build them and you don't have some sort of sound thing, they can't send voices to your head. But then, you know, this is Marvel. For all we know, that machines do that all the time on the regular. Do Spider-Man's web... Well, okay, he doesn't have web shooters in these movies, but do his web shooters talk to him in the Amazing Spider-Man? There's something we don't know. Do planes talk? Let me tell you something. There's a conspiracy going on here, and I'm going to find it out. Jesse Ventura should be president. But nonetheless, it was crazy. One of the biggest things that stuck out to me in this movie was, like I said, I thought Alfred Molina, who played Doc Ock, I thought he was brilliant. Like, now, was he as good as Willem Dafoe playing Green Goblin? No, not at all. Uh-uh. But he was fucking close second. A lot better than Topher Grace in the third one.
Oh, God, yes. Don't get me started on him. We're covering that next week, folks, but do not get me started on him.
Yes, we are. And then, do you want to review The Amazing Spider-Man the week after?
If I can manage to get a hold of it.
Like, have you watched it?
Oh, yeah, I have.
You watched it, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I figured you had.
Yeah. As much as I didn't want to, because I was always going to be, like, the original trilogy, you know, mark, I guess, if you want to put it in wrestling terms. I was always going to be, you know, like, I was only going to stick to the originals. I don't care if they wanted to remake it. I'm not watching it, but then a friend of mine talked me into going, so we did, and I ended up liking it. I don't think it's as good as the original first one, I thought it was good. But I thought that it was still good.
It's my second favorite Spider-Man movie ever, behind Spider-Man 2, which is the movie we're reviewing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Spider-Man 2, I will say, Kirsten Dunst, like, if I thought that as the movies went on, she got worse. Like how in the second one, she just got kind of a little irritating. The third one, she was a bitch backstage in real life, so plus her character was a bitch, so she just seemed like a double bitch. Like, I really did not like Kirsten Dunst in the third one, but, like, that's got to be a discussion for next week. I'll probably go on a rant about how terrible she was in the third one.
Exactly.
But this one, like I said, I thought she did okay. James Franco did better than he did in the first, because in the first one he was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm Harry Osborn, my dad's kind of an asshole. And in this one he's like, I must avenge my father, I'm going to kill Spider-Man.
Yep.
And there was all that coolness just right there. I like James Franco. I thought he was good casting I almost said Heron. What the fuck? Harry Osborn. Spider-Man 2 was overall, I think it's been the best Spider-Man movie ever made. One plot point I will say that irritated me was, and this is in every Spider-Man movie in the original trilogy, I kind of got sick of the fact that every single plot point, the main one, Doug, Mary Jane, Spider-Man would go and he'd get his mask torn up a little bit and trick them into killing themselves.
Yep.
Like, does that not bother anyone that happened in all three movies?
Yeah, but, you know, I mean...
I understand he can't brutally murder them, But like, I mean, he's not Superman and Man of Steel. If that's I totally just spoiled that. It's been almost a year. Get over it, people. But basically, it's one of those weird things where like, I understand, but like they could have just sent Doc Ock to jail. There was no need that like they didn't have to just keep doing it like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, but I guess for some reason it worked because I mean, like you said, and I agree with it. Spider-Man 2 is definitely the best Spider-Man that has ever been made, film-wise. Now, now. Basically, my overall thoughts on this one, I remember as a kid, I played the video game before I watched the movie. And I know that's really weird for someone to be doing, but when I got my PlayStation 2, back in, like, I want to say maybe like '05, I think was when I got it, it came with Spider-Man 2. So I played it, and I was addicted. And I was addicted to that game for so many months. I played it like religiously back when I was like 12 years old and like I had no life. That's basically, and that kind of carried into adult life as well. But anyways, yeah. So I played the game before I saw the movie, and then my mom actually went out and bought the second movie for me for, I think, my birthday or something, or maybe just randomly she just saw it. And I watched it, and I was just blown away by it. I was blown away by how good it was, and like, I watched it like sporadically here and there. And after recently watching it, it's like, it's still as good as the first time I saw it. And yeah,
it's great.
Yep. And,
Nice it.
Yeah, so, yeah, go on.
Anyway, Spider-Man 2, overall, I thought it was a fantastic movie. I thought it had great, story. I thought the story was great. It was based on the Spider-Man No More, which was the original working title of the movie before they decided to use the numbers. And it was cool, Sam Raimi did a great directorial job. The opening credits were fantastic. I love that. I love not as good as the third ones, but that's the discussion for next week as well. Like I said, Tobey Maguire was great. Kirsten Dunst was a little irritating. I love James Franco. Alfred Molina was awesome. I don't think we've discussed. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the dude who plays Jameson, how great he is. He's perfect for the role and might reprise his role in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which that'd be awesome. Yes. And then basically, it's just one of those things where this movie, I thought it had a lot of strong acting. From, it had some strong acting, it had a strong story. I think it was good. It was one of the things where it didn't have to be an origin story, because that's my only issue with superhero movies. Is Spider-Man 1, they had to focus on his origin. On this one, they can go from the very beginning and be like, I'm Spider-Man, and they can just roll with it.
And they did.
And plus, this movie made me laugh. This movie had a lot of comedic scenes.
Oh, yeah, it did. I can't think of anyone's off the top of my head, but I do remember, like, there actually being some scenes in here where it's like, holy shit, they have they have a side of humor on this.
Yeah, and I will say this as well, is my favorite scene in the movie is seriously Harry finding his dad's shit behind that mirror. Which, I'm sorry, but behind a mirror is not the best place to keep your secret goblin base.
It really isn't.
Because if your son sees an illusion of you, or a mirage or whatever, screaming, avenge me, and he throws a knife at it, he's going to find it. But one thing I will say is this, so is Norman Osborn's, like, image, is there a ghost? So is that, like, his ghost? Because he saw himself in the first one. So does that mean that he's, like, is the mirror some sort of demonic Willem Dafoe mirror? What the fuck is the deal with that? Because Harry never saw him in the first one.
Yeah, that was something I thought about, too. Maybe, like, I guess Defoe's evil spirit lives in mirrors, so.
Oh, Willem Dafoe is so fucking creepy, so, I mean, there's that. He's a creepy looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just, like I said, this movie was great. Best Spider-Man movie. One of the best Marvel and just superhero movies in general made. And I loved it. I thought it was great. A good movie. Definitely go watch it. Whether you're a comic book fan or Spider-Man fan or not, this is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just good. Also, there is this dumb thing where Kirsten Dunst is going to get married to Jameson's daughter. That dude fucking becomes Man-Wolf in the comics, and they never brought that up. I figured like maybe by Spider-Man 5 they'd bring him back and have him be Man-Wolf, but why would you put Man-Wolf in a movie? No one cares about Man-Wolf.
Exactly.
And plus, the thing he does to become Man-Wolf happens in space, and they've made it very clear with Spider-Man 3 that they don't like keeping stuff like really in space. I mean, with the I'll go into more next week, but they didn't do it like they had the symbiote be from space, but they didn't have it be. They didn't do it 100% from the comics, which is fine. Well, okay, I'm going into the discussion that's going to be for next week. I need to stop trying to talk about Spider-Man 3.
Exactly. Just say
Spider-Man 2. Jamie, what would you give out of 10?
I would give Spider-Man...
Yes, all my guesses Spider-Man 3.
I would give Spider-Man 2 a 9.5. I know, it's crazy.
I'm going to give it the same thing.
Yeah, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. There's only one movie in my entire life that I have given a perfect 10 to. And we have yet to review
And we're probably going to hear about that later.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, though, definitely really good. Get it. Just get it. I mean, like, okay, it's been out for 10 years. Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure you can find it in a $5 bin somewhere, people. In the fucking...
Yeah, I own it on Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure I bought it for like $5.
I should get this on Blu-ray. I should really start investing into movies that I loved as a kid and get them on Blu-ray. I should really start investing in that.
Yeah, like the only Spider-Man movie I don't own on Blu-ray is Spider-Man 3. That's because I own it on DVD. And for good reason. Fuck that movie.
It's funny
anyway, so basically moving on from one movie to...
I actually bought Spider-Man 3 from Blockbuster when I used to work there for my old co-op in high school. And I remember buying Spider-Man 3 there because it was on sale for like, I think like $6.99 or $7.99 or something like that. And I got it. And I remember like opening like the plastic cutting the plastic off it and shit. And then like I opened it up and actually I have it right here. I think I opened it up and you know that spot in the middle where you're supposed to press and then like the actual disc like pops up.
Yeah.
That was completely broken when I opened it, and I'm like, you know what? Even the people who made the case didn't like this. So, there you go. And
I saw by the way, I saw Spider-Man 3 the day it came out in theaters. I saw with 90 other people fucking crammed into theaters, so you can understand my distaste for this movie.
Oh, God. I did not see it.
Anyway, but moving on from one movie to the next is
yeah.
The second... Oh, do you want to keep interrupting me, Jamie?
Yes. Caleb, do you mind? Do you mind if I... Do you mind if I keep on interrupting you like this?
Go right ahead, sir.
I was going to say, I never saw Spider-Man 3 in theaters because everyone was saying how god-awful it was. And, you know, and also it came out around the time where, you know, I mean, like it's something personal, but like, you know, like around the time that it came out, I guess if you want me to get all sappy, it was kind of a lonely time for me. I never really had anybody to talk to, you know. I was kind of a loner.
Yeah.
So like around that time, and like, you know, I'm not gonna go to a movie by myself. So yeah, I just waited, and I remember my aunt taping it for me because she got it on pay-per-view. And she taped it for me, and I watched it, and I'm like, my God, I'm so happy I did not go to the theaters to see this. I was like, oh, God. So, yeah, that's basically all I have left until next week.
Wow, oh my God, next week we're going to bash Spider-Man 3, mostly me. But, like, I don't know, I'll explain, my thoughts on Spider-Man 3 are really bipolar and weird.
I will definitely have to go back and watch it. I haven't watched it in a while. So I'll definitely have to go back and watch it.
I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not, but... So then, moving on from one movie to another, is Silence of the Lambs. Now, this is another week in a row where, Jamie, you were not able to watch the movie. It's fun to you didn't tell me during the show, and you told me before.
Exactly. And if you want to blame anybody...
I do reviews by myself a lot on this channel, so I know how to do this shit.
Exactly. And if you want to blame anybody, blame Netflix. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, fuck Netflix. Well, no, don't fuck Netflix.
No, do not fuck Netflix. It's a very handy thing. It's not so handy when it doesn't want to do anything. So yes. Anyways, Caleb, go on before I interrupt again.
Okay, basically, Silence of the Lambs. If you don't know, it's basically this. Oh God, I can't think of her name off the top of my head. What the fuck was her name? Shit. Okay, I'm imagining Anthony Hopkins saying her name. Clarice. So Clarice is this lady cop, and she's all like, "Oh yeah, we need to hunt down this dude who's like killing women and like taking some of their skin," and so which very similar to the plot of a show I'm reviewing this Friday, American Horror Story Asylum. Very interesting. So basically, that's all happening, and so she's all like, they're like, "Hey, you should go talk to Hannibal Lecter. He's in prison. And he eats people, and he's Anthony Hopkins. So you should probably talk to him." Considering the whole, like they think, it could be a former patient of his or some shit. Because he used to be, of course, he's Dr. Hannibal Lecter. He was a former psychiatrist. If you want to know more about Hannibal, just watch Hannibal on NBC. Like, that should explain it. He's a therapist. Basically, she goes and talks to him. A man, whenever she's leaving, also from talking to him, a man in his cell throws semen at her face. That happens. So there's semen in this movie, people. And, yeah, she talks to Anthony Hopkins and stuff, and he kind of fucks with her head, and he's a very fucked up person because he's a serial killer. He ate his patients and shit. It's really weird. And people who aren't his patients, he doesn't discriminate. He doesn't like eating people. But there's a shirt I'm going to get from Redbubble.com, which is a great site to get movie-inspired shirts, and it's the Subway logo, but it says Hannibal, and underneath, instead of Eat Fresh, it says Eat Flesh.
Oh my God.
That's fucking awesome.
I can imagine the person who made that making a killing off that.
Oh my God, that's got to be one of their most sold shirts on there. It's fucking fantastic. Oh my God, I need to just have a video dedicated to talking about how awesome Redbubble shirts are. But yeah, like I said, check out Redbubble.com. They've got amazing shirts that they've got these Fight Club shirts. They've got shirts. You type in a show, they have shirts for it. I am not shitting you. They have Breaking Bad shirts. They have a Breaking Bad shirt that is inspired by Archer. So it is an Archer and Breaking Bad shirt.
That's crazy.
And it's awesome looking, so check that shit out. Basically, so, yeah, and Hannibal's all like, whatnot. So Clarice starts hunting down this guy. They call him Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill is this insane dude who wants to become a woman, but he can't afford the money, and he's a psychopath. So he starts killing women, and he, like, makes them rub lotion on their skin, and, puts the lotion on the skin, or else it gets the hose again. That shit. That's a great scene. And basically, Buffalo Bill... So what he does is he uses their skin to make himself a vagina. And he wears this vagina and dances around and puts lipstick on and tells himself, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me so hard." And he dances. It's weird. Buffalo Bill is a fucked up person. And this movie is weird. And then there's like a part where they're like, Hannibal... Dude, you have to see this movie.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
This is one of my favorite movies ever, man. And this is such a good fucking movie. I love it so much. And basically, that's the key plots. Of course, at some point, they're like, Hannibal, hey, we think we know who the guy is. We're going to take you out of prison, but we're still going to keep you locked up. And that turns into this great scene where Hannibal, like, he peels a dude's... there's this great scene, one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Hannibal beats the shit out of these two guys. In the prison, he's the two security guards. And he just... and you cannot... They are just... like, fuck it, they are fucked up, they are maimed, like, you can't see it, their faces are covered in blood, and they're taking one of them to the hospital, and they can't find the other one. Well, and so, there's one dead in the cell, there's one dead in the cell, and they're like, they know he's dead, and the other one is still alive, so they take him, and they put him in the ambulance, and then they see this blood dripping out of the elevator. They open the elevator, and the other security guard's body's there, so both security guards are still in the building, dead, and they're like, wait a minute, but one of the security guards is in the ambulance. Then there's this great scene in the ambulance where the doctor's standing there helping the dude, and the dude just raises up Undertaker style, takes off the face, and Hannibal peeled the dude's face off and put it over his own.
Good God.
It's awesome. Anthony Hopkins has one of my favorite cinnamon rolls ever. It sounded like I said cinnamon rolls.
I wouldn't mind a cinnamon
roll. I don't know what
but...
Dude, cinnamon rolls are pretty good. It depends on the cinnamon roll, though.
That's true.
But it was one of my favorite rolls in cinema. Not in cinnamon. That'd be weird. Like rolls in cinnamon. Fuck, I need to stop talking about cinnamon rolls.
One of his favorite roles in film. This is not
Fallout 3. Yes.
There we go.
One of my favorite film portrayals. And like I said, the acting was top notch. I don't think there was a bad actor in this movie. Anthony Hopkins outperformed everyone, of course, but it was just fantastic. Like, this movie was great. See, I'm not gonna like reveal the ending or anything. Even though I revealed the skin peeling deal, but like I said, it was fantastic. Buffalo Bill, the dude who played, I don't even know who the dude who played him, but he was good. Everyone was good. Clarice was good. It's just one of those things where really anything else I can say about this movie is a spoiler, so I'm not gonna go too in depth. I think what's outstanding is acting is incredible. The story is great. There's some really fucked up stuff. There's some scenes. There's a dude who steals woman's skin and makes his own vagina and puts lipstick on. So, yeah, there's that. That's basically Silence of the Lambs for you right there.
That whole new generation of fetishes for people.
Oh, dude, I know. Like serial killer fetishes where you like peel the skin. Never mind.
Basically, let's not get into detail.
Yes. Yeah, but basically Silence of the Lambs is a great film. I recommend it. I give it a 10 out of 10. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
is that a spoiler for tonight's top 5? I don't know.
Oh, man, look at that.
It could be, it could not be. You'll have to wait.
If I do end up watching it, I'm definitely not going to have anything to eat during it.
Dude, don't eat during this movie. Don't make the same mistake I made and eat during this movie. Nothing happened to me. I just, ate during this movie. Whatever. I eat during weird movies, man.
Apparently.
Except for, I don't eat watching horror movies. That's weird. I have a friend who I was going to do some videos with. Him and his friend ate chicken while they watched Saw, and they wanted to see who could last longer.
Oh, my God. Well, Saw really isn't, I don't count it as horror. I really don't.
Yeah, it's torture porn.
It's more gore than anything.
I just realized that my laptop screen went dark and I'm not watching Main Event, so I actually think I missed the end.
Oh shit, well just check fucking Twitter and you'll see.
Here, I can fast forward through it though, so I can see the ending of the Intercontinental title match real quick.
Oh, okay. Live updates, even though we're not live.
This is very true.
Yeah,
wait, okay, I have no idea where the hell the Intercontinental title match is.
You think you should just mention the news here, real fast?
Oh, the news. I found the okay. So the news here is simple. We only have one movie story. We got 3 TV stories, which one is kind of a movie story, and we got 2 video game news. So we always start off with movie news. Let's start off with the one, and this one is the reason I had 2 other movie stories, but as you know, I do my final rough draft. I take some out. I didn't think the other 2 were very important because one of them was kind of obvious and it was too specific. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then the other one was just like, I don't feel like it's worth talking about. Big E retained the Intercontinental title. Okay. And it's just one of those things where the movie... Okay, so basically, this is the movie news. As you know, I think we discussed... Well, no, we didn't. We discussed a rumor about this, but Ghostbusters 3 has been announced officially. And it is going to focus on a new group with Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and the other guy who was alive because, unfortunately, the dude who played Egon, Harold Ramis, has unfortunately passed away recently. So it's just one of those things where it's going to focus on a new group with the original cast playing minor roles. So that could be interesting. I don't know if it's a reboot or if it is Ghostbusters 3. That's not really confirmed, but I mean, hey, who knows? Whatever, new Ghostbusters movie. Hopefully it's better than the second one, because that one was bad. That one was really bad. First one was awesome, but the second one was bad. The second one was so bad. You guys, I went on like a 5-minute rant about the second one on the show a couple weeks ago.
You did.
It was really bad. God, it really pissed me off. Like I said, Ghostbusters 3, that could be really interesting. And I don't know, Jamie, what do you think about the whole fact that they're going to focus on a new cast with the old cast playing minor characters?
I honestly don't think I'll see it, to be honest. I mean, if I waited
I'll see a trailer first.
Yeah, but if I waited so long to see the first one, I imagine I'm probably going to be the same with this one.
You're going to wait 30 years to see it.
More than likely. I'm probably going to be gray and balding and not even going to and just like decide saying, hey, maybe I should watch Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I probably won't go to theaters to see it, but like I said, I'll have to see a trailer first. And once I see a trailer, I can make my mind up. Because it just that's my thing with movies is I'll give it a shot, and once I see a trailer, I can make my opinion on what I think of it. But even then, I can't give a full opinion until I've seen it.
Yes.
So then, that's all movie news we really have. That'll be cool. Then going on to TV news, we have three things. The first one is, Jamie, I don't think any of this TV news really matters to you.
Yeah.
It's like all the shows I just watch.
Okay, well, you know what? There you go. Fire off.
Okay, so TV news first up. Brad Pitt rumored to be one of the co-stars of Season 2 of True Detective. That sounds good to me. I mean, Brad Pitt, he was in a 2-hour, as Hal Rudnick of Screen Junkies said, wasn't Brad Pitt already in a 2-hour episode of True Detective called Seven, which is based yeah, that's what Seven was. Seven and True Detective, very similar. Like, they're not like the stories are, but like if you just called Seven True Detective Season 2, I would believe you. So, hey, maybe Morgan Freeman's going to be in True Detective Season 2. That'd be cool. All I want is Brad Pitt and Edward Norton back together for True Detective. That'd be awesome. They're obviously getting A-list celebrities for the show, so that's pretty cool. So Brad Pitt, why not? I'll give it a chance. I think it could be good. Brad Pitt's a pretty decent actor. I'm going to be watching Inglourious Bastards for the first time, which is taking me forever to sometime in the next couple weeks. So maybe that can convince me even more with Brad Pitt.
I've only seen.
And basically, once. Then we.
And
what did you say?
I've only seen that one once, and I saw it in theaters, and I really liked Pitt's role, but other than that, like, a lot of people tend to overrate it, but I mean, like, it was alright.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, so basically, next up, we got the next bit of TV news this is also kind of movie news. So take it as you will. It's both, basically. And this is what it is George R.R. Martin, who, as y'all may know, is the writer of the book series Song of Ice and Fire, which, if you know, is the basis of Game of Thrones. That's what Game of Thrones is. That's the book's Game of Thrones is based on. George R.R. Martin, in an interview, said, in quote, I want the final season of Game of Thrones this is about 4 or 5 years from now, because Game of Thrones is probably going to go about 8 or 9 seasons. He said, Game of Thrones, in a few years, once Game of Thrones is over, and it has had its final season, I don't want the final season to be the end of the series. I want the final season to be the final season, but I want the end to be a 3-hour movie with a $200 million budget.
Holy shit.
So basically, there's a possibility that after the series is over, that the finale of Game of Thrones will actually be a 3-hour movie. That sounds fucking awesome to me. Game of Thrones is my favorite show on TV right now. So you know what? I would be down for that. I would see that movie like immediately. So there you go. That movie, I'm so down for that. That movie sounds awesome. Granted, we don't have a story yet for what characters are going to be alive by then, because they love killing characters off so much. But we'll see. And the next bit of TV news is basically, and this fits in because if you don't know, as you all know, probably if you subscribe to us, I'm doing mini-series reviewing every season of American Horror Story. In order, I reviewed Murder House last week. I'm reviewing Asylum this week. Should be coming up on Friday or Saturday, whatever. Then next week is Coven. Well, American Horror Story Season 4, we heard the basis of it, and it has been announced that American Horror Story Season 4 will be called American Horror Story Freak Show, and the basis will be set in the 1950s at a traveling, like, circus carnival thing. That sounds like... I was really lukewarm on this idea, but
again, it's one of those things where
when I first heard,
I don't have much of a reaction because again, I don't watch these shows, so
yeah, exactly. And my thing with this is when I first heard this idea and when it was rumored, I said, I don't really want this to happen. I don't want it to be in a circus. But here's the thing: with the first season, I didn't even know what the hell the basis was before going into it. Asylum, I thought that sounded awesome. Coven, I thought Coven sounded like a terrible idea. But then I saw the promo for it during the premiere of Sons of Anarchy last season, and I said, "Holy shit, this season looks awesome. Never mind." So it's another thing where I'm very lukewarm on whether or not I'm excited for this. But once we get a teaser, an awesome American Horror Story teaser like they always do, once I finally see it, then there you go. I'll have my opinion. I'm going to watch this season whether I think the teaser looks good or not. But my opinion on whether I'm excited or not is going to be totally based on the trailer or teaser. So 5 months from now, I'm going to have an opinion on if I'm excited for it or not, because they like to do it in August, and they like to do it when Sons of Anarchy premieres.
Very nice.
So yeah, so there's that, and then I'm going to be reviewing that after that season is over. So about a year from now, I'll probably be reviewing that season. And, just like how, and then of course this Friday I'm reviewing Asylum. Next week I'm reviewing Coven. So there's all that. That is all I have for TV news. And yeah, Jamie, I didn't realize until a couple minutes ago that you really have you don't watch news and TV news.
None of that news affected me in any way. I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick or anything, but none of that,
right.
None of that mattered to me. But that's my own fault because I just don't watch them.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got the game news, one of them I actually talked to you about last night a little bit when we were talking on Skype, and then the other one I'm not sure if you're aware of, but you might have heard. First one, I'm going to talk about the one we discussed last night, is Far Cry 4. It's supposed to be set in the Himalayas, and you'll be able to ride elephants. James, your opinion?
I'm thinking that's going to be pretty good. If it's anything like the third one, I'm definitely going to be playing it because I heard...
The third one was awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean... Yeah, and I think the question I posed to you last night was, are they going to bring back characters from the third game? And then I realized, spoiler alert for those of you that have not played. Yes,
spoiler alert here.
Spoiler alert for those of you that have not played Far Cry 3. Go play it right the fuck now because it's very good. But anyways, I thought about it, and it's well, they can't really bring back anybody because the main antagonists are all dead. So...
and plus the main characters in one ending all die.
Exactly. So, it really depends on, the choices that you make, but I highly doubt, the choice that you make at the end is going to impact the fourth game. But, yeah, as for Far Cry 4 taking place in the Himalayas, apparently it's not going to be snow-covered either. And the fact that you get to ride elephants is actually pretty neat. I think the last game I played where you got to ride elephants was actually Dynasty Warriors, if you guys... if you guys can recall that old series on the PlayStation 2, I think one of them made it to the Xbox, I'm not sure which. I think it was Empires, I believe. But anyways, yeah, as for Far Cry 4 being, set in the... As for Far Cry 4 being set in the Himalayas, I'm thinking it's good, but like I said... If it's gonna be similar to the third game, where how they described it, it's like Skyrim with guns, even though Fallout's basically exactly that fits that description. But if it's gonna be like Far Cry 3, where you get to run around and I guess kill whoever, I'm guessing that they won't be pirates. So, but yeah. I've said this about a million times already, but if it is like Far Cry 3, then I'll definitely play it.
Far Cry 3 was legitimately my favorite game of 2012. I love that game. I thought it was fantastic. Both endings, even though I thought the evil ending was awesome and dark, the good ending was badass.
Oh my god.
And that's the first time I think I've ever said that a good ending is better than a bad ending.
Exactly.
First time I've ever said that.
Yeah, and you know what? It pays off a lot more to take the good ending. It really does. But
I will say this, the bad ending is a sex scene.
It's a sex scene, and yeah, alright, so basically, if you choose the bad ending, you get a sex scene, and you're pretty much fucked over by the woman that you're having sex with.
She literally impregnates herself with your child and then kills you.
She sticks the knife that you brought to her and stabs you in the chest. And so...
It's still a better choice than marriage.
Yeah, so basically, you're already a warrior, and her reasoning is that, oh yeah, you're now a warrior, so now you can die a warrior. It's like, bitch, I sacrificed my friends, that's how you repay me? What the hell? But,
Far Cry 3, you know what? I just realized that game is so goddamn good. It's because if Far Cry 4 is anything like it was a story about this dude who really isn't like anything. He's kind of a pussy almost, and he becomes this badass who gets tribal tattoos and starts killing people.
Exactly, and you know what? And, okay, I remember when the third game came out, I literally did not give two shits about it. And then, all of a sudden, it's like, I mean, like, it becomes this huge deal, and 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 like I search everywhere to find it. I went to GameStop, Walmart, I mean, you name it. I mean, like some random CD store that used to sell games and apparently doesn't anymore. I went around everywhere searching for this game and I couldn't find it. And then and you know what? It was even sold out on Amazon until I finally found it on Amazon and I bought it for like I think $70. Because like I saw videos, I saw reviews. I'm like, all right, this game has to be good. And I played it and I was like, holy shit, Ubisoft really knocked one out of the park. And Ubisoft is the same company.
The water is beautiful in that game.
The water is so awesome, and just like the things that like you can do on there, I mean, just like the guns that you have there, and you know what? Ultimately, I think I think the game is worth half the price just to hear what the enemies say when you're sneaking around them.
Yes.
Because the enemies say some of the most messed up shit ever. I mean, there's STD references, drug references. It's completely crazy. But still, though, Far Cry 3, I would definitely say that it was the best game of 2012. Though, definitely, I would say that.
Oh, I love that game. Anyway, and that kind of turned into a mini Far Cry 3 review. Far Cry 4. There's also a rumor that they're going to bring back monsters, and apparently there were monsters in the first game, which, whatever. So, you know, if they do that, yeah, that's cool.
So, yeah.
I didn't know the first two existed until the third came out.
I had known that the first two were out, I just never played them, and apparently they're really not all that good, and then the third one came out, and it changed, like, everybody's perspective on it.
The second one is supposed to be good, but the first one wasn't great.
If I do get the chance to play the
I'm just basing that off of reviews.
Yeah, definitely. If I get the chance to play the first two, I definitely will. But I don't think that the first two are going to top the third one.
Yeah, and then the next story for video game news, I don't know if you've heard this, you might have, but the next Assassin's Creed game, accidentally the name and where they're going to be was announced.
Yes, I did hear about this. Apparently it's going to be in France. And it's going to be called Unity, I think?
Unity.
Yeah, I never played...
That name is kind of lame.
Okay, here is the thing about the next game. If it comes out this year, I'm not playing it. If it comes out next year, I will play it.
Yes.
Because that was my issue with Black Flag. It came out way too quick.
Stop rushing them.
Oh my god. And I played maybe like the first 10 minutes of Black Flag, and that was it. I did not play anything else.
I put about maybe 2 hours into the game. I still haven't returned it. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said I returned it. I'm planning to.
I traded it in and got Red Dead ODST and Assassin's Creed 2 back.
That's a much better deal.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't get them all back with, like, just that one game. I traded in Battlefield and Ghost for it as well, but still, I mean... I really wasn't huge on the whole pirate theme. I mean, like, it was cool for the third one, but then just to have an entire game based off that, I mean, I really wasn't all that crazy about it.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the boats.
I think my problem was that I could.
Hopefully they take out the boat combat since they're in France in the next one.
Yes, and I hope that there's like an achievement or like a trophy or something to where like you make. Well, okay, if it's set to where the Eiffel Tower is actually there, I hope that there is an achievement where like you climb all the way up to the top and you jump off it and you gotta land like a hay barrel or something like that. And then like,
that could work.
And then like you get like a random achievement or trophy or whatever. That'd be cool.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah. But the fact that they're in France, I think, is actually pretty cool because I was actually wondering if they were ever going to go there because they conquered. Oh my god, the time setting in the first one. I know what the time setting is. I just cannot remember the name of it.
I can't. Oh my god, I can't either.
That was. It was like AD, I think. I want to say I'm probably completely wrong, and I apologize. And if I offend those because you say anything these days on the internet, you're going to offend somebody. But anyways, the first one took back like a ways ago, like before a wagon was thought of, I want to say. And then they completely dominated Italy. They did 3 games dominating that. Then they did the American Revolution. Then they just did a random one on pirates. Now they're in France. So maybe it's during the French Revolution. Maybe that might possibly be it.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So that might possibly be it. I'm not a huge historian guy. If you really want to talk to a guy that's all about history, talk to Kyle, who's on with me for Wrestling with Mac. Rated K13. He would probably know way more about that than I would. But anyways, have it being set in France, I think it's good. If there's no boats involved, I'll play it. But make it come out in 2015, not 14. Take your time with it.
It's not like I've never been a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. Like, I play them. It's not like a game series where every year I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to get the next Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying they're milking the franchise. Like, if they still have good ideas, then why not? Black Flag, even though I didn't like it, was an okay game. It's probably more fun to other people. 3 was okay. So just I don't get how, they're not really milking the franchise. They're just making more games. Like, what do you want them to do, really? Like, I mean, do you want them to, like, they'll eventually end it, I guarantee you, within the next 3 or 4 games. They'd have to, because then they'll have like 10 games in the series. And well, look at, a franchise that's milking it is Call of Duty, where Call of Duty, they will not stop.
They just keep producing
they have 4 different series within the series.
They keep producing, and you know what? I could go on a whole rant about Call of Duty, but you know what? They're making money off of people's stupidity, because they're producing the same shit every year, and people still buy them. I never bought Ghost, people.
And
I got it.
Okay, I will say, I did play and beat Ghosts.
All right, yeah. I got Ghosts as a Christmas gift. I played 4 matches overall, and it reminded me too much of every other COD game. And I swear, if people jump on me and say like, it's completely different, should be like, no. The only game I've yet to see a true okay, well, you know what? No, there really isn't a Call of Duty that I can say that hasn't been repeated. So, you know what?
It's just like, and it's that, and then the fact that they have like 4 different series. Like, they've got Modern Warfare, which they'll probably make a 4th one. They've got Ghosts and Black Ops. Just like, they have too many series within their own series.
If they took like 2 years off, I would be more excited for it. I honestly think I would be.
At least Halo's only had 4 games in like 15 years.
Well,
that's an exaggeration. It's been like 12 years.
And all of the Halo games are masterpieces, except for Halo Wars. Halo Wars, I don't count.
Oh, fuck Halo Wars. I don't consider Halo Wars part of the series.
Halo Wars wasn't even made by Bungie or 343. So.
Yeah, it's not part of the series then.
Exactly.
That's my thing. It's just like with Arkham Origins. I don't really consider Arkham Origins part of the Arkham series because it wasn't made by the same guys.
Exactly. But yeah. So as for Assassin's Creed, this would be. I guess this would make it 5, I guess, or 6, because I mean, like, they didn't really say Brotherhood and Revelations were like, a single number. So this would be like Assassin's Creed 5 if they were going to call this. Again.
Yeah, they're not going to though. I guess it's just Unity, which is kind of weird.
But yeah, again, if it's if they release it by next year, I'll play it. If it comes out this year, I am waiting.
Yeah, I'll play it eventually. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit and bitch about it and say I'm not going to play it because they've made too many games. I don't care. If the games are consistent and good, who cares how many come out?
Exactly. I mean, I guess as long as Ubisoft is making money, they'll milk it for as much as it's worth.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, I don't know, it happens. It's just they have an idea and they have stories they want to tell and they feel like they can tell them in multiple environments, so let them tell the story. I mean, yep. I'm not, who am I to say, no, don't do that? I mean, I think it could work, I mean, hey, they like to change these things every once in a while, and for the most part, they've been pretty good.
I'm just waiting until they make one that's modern day. You know?
They're not going to. They've actually said that they never want a game where you can drive cars and shit.
Well, I mean, like, you don't have to, like, even drive cars. I mean, like, just jump from, like, building to building. Like, that'd be neat.
Who knows? Like, I'm up for that.
There have been plenty of games where, like, there are cars involved, but you've never had the option to drive them. Spiderman 2, even though Spiderman 2, the video game, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, like, that had cars in it, and you couldn't drive them.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't have to make you drive cars. They just said you can never drive cars, so I guess that does leave it open for modern day.
Red Dead had the friggin' little motorized car there, and, like, you could never drive that.
Oh, you're saying. I would like that. Cool.
I would like that. But yeah, so I guess we should make it to the top 5, though.
Yeah, no more news stories. We got the top five favorite movies of all time. First non-wrestling top 5, so let's see how it goes. Remember that one time we had a top 10? Like the first episode we ever did, I did a top 10 and you did 2 top 5s?
Yeah, because I mean, like, it's not like I didn't like doing top 10, just, I think with just, like, the topic I was given, I just couldn't do it.
It was so weird because I was fine. I was in the middle of my top 10, and then that's when a future guy who was on the show for 2 episodes, that's whenever he called in and ruined my top 10 and made me sound like shit. And then, that should have been a warning for me. That should have been a complete warning. Because and then it proceeded to a conversation that made no sense where he thought I was saying Edge of the Greatest Reformer of all time, and I was like, no, there have been lots of it. It was stupid. Nonetheless, moving on to top five movies. This is the first time ever, and the next 2 weeks we're going to be doing at least non-wrestling top 5. So unless I think of another wrestling top 5 that I can think of, then I'm probably not going to
review it.
We'll just do shit like this for a while. Who knows? So top 5 favorite movies of all time. So James, I'm going to let you go first.
All right. Let me just go up here. All right. So top 5 favorite movies of all time. 4 of them. Okay. All right. I'm just saying right now. 4 of them you may recognize, but 1 of them you may not have heard of, and that wouldn't surprise me because it's not really like a well-known movie. And that movie is actually number 5. And so number 5 is a movie called I Am Sam, starring Sean Penn and Michelle Pfeiffer. And now what this movie is about is basically a guy who is, I mean, to be perfectly blunt, is mentally retarded. Legitimately mentally retarded. And he ends up having a kid with this woman who just wanted to spend the night with him, but they end up having sex, and he ends up having a kid with her, and then she runs off the day that the child is born. And
what a bitch.
Yeah. So basically, I'm losing my train of thought here. All right, Jamie, come on. Yeah. So, anyways, so he ends up having her, and he has eventually, Child Protective Services catches on, and they tell him that he has the mental capacity of a 7-year-old, and that they are afraid when she turns 8, she's going to be smarter than him mentally. Obviously smarter mentally. So eventually, the child ends up getting taken away from him, because it's almost like, because it's kind of like she was like ashamed of him because she kept on telling her friends at school that she was adopted, even though like he's her biological father. And so what Sean Penn does is he gets a lawyer, and gets it, who is played by Pfeiffer. And she ends up making the case pro bono for him. And for those of you that don't know, pro bono means it's completely free. That means that she is going to be his lawyer for free. And they end up building like this relationship kind of. And okay. I just want to apologize now. I suck at explaining movies. That's why I usually leave Caleb to do it, because he explains it way better. But yeah, just from what I've said now, I Am Sam is a really good movie. I actually ended up watching this in one of my classes in school. I want to say, I think it's called like Early Child Studies. I think I took that as a course in high school, and we ended up watching this movie in there, and I really liked it because Sean Penn did such a great job at playing the role, and he made you believe that he was legitimately mentally retarded. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory. He was legitimately mentally retarded. So
yeah, it's like you have to describe the plot of the movie. Like, that's a key plot.
Yeah.
The key point, whatever.
Yeah. So, but anyways, though, the movie's been out since, I believe, 2001, 2002. Very good. You can more than likely find it at, like, the $5 bin at Walmart, I imagine. So, yeah, definitely go and find this. Now, on to the rest, the more recognizable movies. Number 4, Spider-Man 2. We were just reviewing that earlier in the show.
Oh!
Spider-Man 2, really damn good movie. I really don't think I have to go into much explanation because we just reviewed it. Spider-Man 2 is great. Best one of the series. Go watch it. Just do yourself a favor and go watch it. Number 3, Holes.
I knew Holes would be on this list.
Holes, man, I'm telling you, I mean, a lot of people say that the book is better. That's arguable. I don't read that much. But yeah, Holes,
I like the movie. Good.
Oh, yeah. It was just great. Starring, oh my god, I'm going to sound like an idiot. I'm forgetting his name. The guy...
Shia LaBeouf. Oh, no. It doesn't matter because he's not famous anymore, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I guess we just need to, ignore his name. So, yeah, basically that guy, Sigourney Weaver, John Voight...
Sigourney Weaver.
Patricia Arquette and Tim Blake Nelson. Basically, what this movie is about is this kid gets a random pair of sneakers get like fucking chucked on the top of his head, and apparently they belong to a famous baseball player. Sorry. And they find him guilty, saying that he stole the shoes that apparently were donated to a homeless shelter, and he has to spend, I think it was 18 months in I want to say it's like a juvenile detention camp where all they do is dig holes all day long, and when you're finished, basically that's your day. You just dig a hole deep enough, that's as deep as the height of your shovel, and then that's your day. And, it's just really good because they did a really good job at explaining the backstory to this. They explained the guy's family history really well. I thought that the actors they chose, actresses, were really well chosen. So yeah, Holes, guys, definitely go and pick this up. And number two, I know Kyle is going to love me for this. Number 2 is The Lion King. Lion King, classic Disney film. I don't really think I need to tell you what happens because everybody has seen it at some point in their lifetime. Maybe not as many times as Kyle, but you've probably seen it maybe at least once or twice or 10 times in your lifetime. Don't really need to tell you what's going on. You got this lion cub Simba who, wants to be this big tough ass lion at such a young age, ends up causing...
He wants to be the very best, the best there ever was.
And the best that there ever fucking will be. And if you get that reference, good for you.
That was a Pokemon reference.
That was a Pokemon reference?
And then you made it a Bret Hart reference.
Yes, I did. That's what I do, okay? I didn't... Okay, so basically, it was a Pokemon and wrestling reference. You'd never get those two combined. Anyways, Lion King, basically Simba wants to be top shit at a young age. And his Uncle Scar invites him down to this, I guess, valley, and has a fucking surprise for him. And Simba asks him, saying like, "Will I like the surprise?" And then Scar goes, "Simba, it's to die for." And legitimately, somebody died. Who was it? It was Simba's father, Mufasa. Mufasa ends up dying trying to save his son's life. Very sad, very, very depressing. And then Simba ends up running off. Gets found by Timon and Pumbaa. Learns the meaning of Hakuna Matata, which means no worries. Classic line. And basically, he comes back and he beats the shit out of his uncle. It's a great movie, classic film. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go and see it. So, Lion King number 2 and number 1. And now, I said before, I've only given one movie in my entire life a perfect 10 out of 10, and you are probably wondering, what could number 1 possibly be? My number 1 movie of all time, and will forever and always be, the first Toy Story. Toy Story.
Really?
Toy Story is my favorite film of all time, favorite kids film of all time.
Why did that shock me?
Favorite Disney film. I don't know. But see, as a kid, I always wondered, what, and like, I am not BSing you when I say this. I always wondered, what would it be like if my toys actually came to life? And then I saw Toy Story, and it's like, oh my god, I'm living my fantasy as a child. The toys are coming to life, and the toys have a sense of humor. Woody, Buzz, you got Mr. fucking Potato Head, you got the aliens. It's so good. And I really don't need to... Well, I guess I could describe the presence of it. Basically, Woody thinks he's Andy's favorite toy. Up comes Buzz Lightyear, and he's taking Woody's thunder, and then Woody attempts to kind of almost kill Buzz, if you want to look at it that way. And then I believe they end up... Woody actually ends up going with Andy and his mom and his sister to... God, what the hell is that thing called? Pizza Planet. And so they go there, and apparently Buzz was hiding in the van the entire time, and they find each other, and they end up fighting. And what they don't realize is that Andy's leaving while they are fighting, and the second that they see it, the van is driving away, and they're like, oh no, what are we supposed to do? So they basically try and find their way home. And then Sid finds him, who is Andy's next door neighbor. They actually never have any interaction of any kind, but basically Sid is a huge dick. You actually end up
much
seeing
like
him,
Sid Justice,
basically, and you actually end up seeing him in Toy Story 3 as the garbage man. If you didn't,
yeah,
that.
He's in it.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome.
Which I never caught until I saw a meme of it. I was like, holy shit, that's him. But anyways. Yeah, so basically that's the whole premises of it. Can Andy and Buzz get back home in time because Andy's moving soon? And it's basically a great film. Go out and see it. I remember I got the big 10-disc Blu-ray set of Toy Story for Christmas one year. Nearly had a damn orgasm. That is that good. I have it. It's wonderful. I rate it 10 out of 10. The only movie I've ever rated a full 10. So yeah, there you go. So.
Every movie on my top 5 is a 10 out of 10. I've rated them all 10s.
Yeah. So my top 5 again. Number 5, I Am Sam. 4 is Spider-Man 2. 3 is Holes. 2 is The Lion King. The first one. You know what? I basically covered that in my description. And number 1 is the very first Toy Story. So that is my top 5.
Very interesting list. I've heard of all of them, and I've seen... I own one of them even. I've seen 2 of them. Well, no. I'm sorry. I've watched Toy Story. Wait, okay, I've watched all of them. What am I talking about? I've watched all of them except for I Am Sam. I don't know how I just said I hadn't watched Lion King and Toy Story. I'm a horrible person. I watched them. I watched the shit out of them. I don't know what's
I
wrong
Am
with
Sam
them.
is definitely a good one to see, though.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't believe it is on Netflix, but you can probably find it on Amazon or Walmart dirt cheap.
I'll check it out. Anyway, now my top 5.
I own the DVD
now,
and Blu-ray.
Here's the thing, my top 5. Basically, my top 5 is... It's a pretty good top 5. It's 5 movies people like, so, whatever. One of them is more of a cult classic, but, we'll go into that. And, yes, these are my 5 favorite movies ever, of course, obviously. Great movies, great films. I totally recommend them. I own all of them on Blu-ray. Why wouldn't I own them all on Blu-ray? Number 5 is... I was debating whether to put this movie or Pulp Fiction on the list, but Pulp Fiction, I decided, nah. Pulp Fiction's in my top 10 ever. It's probably number 6, but... It's one of the things where I wanted to put so many movies, like Pulp Fiction, Clockwork Orange. I really wanted to put them on here in my top 5, but they're more top 10. Number 5 is my favorite comic book movie ever. This is my favorite movie ever based on comic books. My favorite DC movie of all time. And DC doesn't make very many good movies, so it's just one of those greatest things where, well, damn. It's my favorite movie. It's the only movie on this list that was made in the 2000s as well. And this movie, the more I'm giving the clues, the more people are figuring out what it is. And it's my favorite Batman movie of all time. Number 5 on this list is The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a fantastic comic book film. Batman Begins was good. Dark Knight Rises was great, but this movie is the best, just in my opinion, comic book movie ever. It was so dark and fucked up. Christian Bale is fantastic in this movie as Batman. There was Heath Ledger playing the Joker came out of nowhere. Who would have thought that the dude from Brokeback Mountain and Knight's Tale would have been one of the most iconic movie villains of all time after this? I mean, he was fantastic. He just looked awesome. Everything about him in this movie was just... It was great. His portrayal was fantastic. They took the goofy Jack Nicholson Joker and the fucked up, goofy comic book Joker, which... comic book Joker, does fucked up shit. He shot Batgirl in the spine and paralyzed her and left her naked in the street. That's fucked up, but this movie, he's just so insane. He lights a giant stack of money on fire. Just everything about it. This movie's 6 years old now, I believe, so it's not I don't think I'm spoiling anything when I say Two-Face. I was not expecting Two-Face to be in this movie. That was kind of random, but it was awesome. This movie was great. Gary Oldman was fantastic. Heath Ledger, of course, like I said, stole the entire movie. This movie was great. This movie was so fantastic and complete. Is there anything... All I can say about The Dark Knight is, it's just awesome. Go watch it. It's fucking awesome. It's the best Batman movie ever. It's so good. This movie is fucking awesome. Plus, for some reason, Scarecrow is in this movie for 5 seconds, which he's in all 3 of them, too, which, it was weird. He's actually in the 3rd one, if you didn't notice. He's just not wearing a mask, people. That's it. But I noticed, because I'm a nerd. And it was fantastic. God, Dark Knight, awesome movie. Go watch it. Number 4 on my list is an awesome movie, and it's a classic. People talk about this movie a lot. It's very critically acclaimed, but it's not a movie that gets talked about enough. I don't think it's a movie that some of you might not have heard of, and that is Seven. Seven is a fantastic, fucked up serial killer movie, and one of the best serial killer movies I've ever seen. Now, the whole premise is Morgan Freeman, who... I don't like Morgan Freeman. I'm not going to lie. I honestly do not like Morgan Freeman. But he's literally... But he's in 2 out of the 5 movies in my top 5. He's in The Dark Knight. He plays Lucius Fox. And then in 7, he plays Brad Pitt's partner because him and Brad Pitt are in this movie. It's one of those weird things where I'm not really a huge fan of Brad Pitt, even. And Brad Pitt was awesome in this movie. And Morgan Freeman was awesome in this movie. And, basically, the premise of this movie is they find this dude, and he's, dead, and he's fat and stuff, and it says gluttony. So basically, this serial killer is killing off people, and it all represents, the different 7 sins, 7 deadly sins, whatever. There's some fucked up shit in this movie. And the most disturbing scene in this movie is insinuated. Because if they could not show this, they could not legally show this. I'm sure you can find it in some dark corner of the internet, an actual act of this happening, but they do not show this in this movie because they legally and morally can't do that. So I just want to say the most disturbing thing in this movie is insinuated. Because one of the 7 deadly sins is, what's the sexual one? What is it?
Lust,
what is it? Lust. Lust, I think. Yes, there you go. And basically, the whole thing is that they go into the strip club or prostitute place, whorehouse, whatever, and they see it, and this dude is just standing there, and there's blood, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't, he made me do it, and then they just go, and they're like, what the fuck happened? And they go into the office, and Morgan Freeman lays down a picture, and the picture is a picture of a strap-on dildo that is a knife.
Jesus.
Do you see where I'm going with this? Yeah. So the serial killer put a gun to this dude's head and forced him to... Yeah.
That's...
Strap-on knife dildo.
Ugh.
Yeah. That is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in a movie, and it's not even shown. It's awesome. Imaging in this movie was amazing. The ending of this movie is one of the best endings I've ever seen. Of course, the killer isn't it's not a big surprise. It is a surprise of what he does. I guess I can spoil it. This movie's almost 20 years old. It's 19 or 18 years old now. And it might even be 20 years old. It came out between 94 and 96. So basically, Kevin Spacey turns out to be the serial killer. The reason they couldn't find fingerprints was because he cut off his fingertips. It was really weird. And they call him just John Doe because you don't know his name or anything. And it's just one of those things where this is the first time before I watched House of Cards, so I didn't know how good of an actor that Kevin Spacey truly was until I watched this movie, and it was just crazy. Then the ending where they're like, "Okay, you've done this," and then of course the whole thing. It's in my bio on Twitter. What's in the box? That famous line. It's so great. Oh, it's so great. This movie is fantastic. And then, of course, the movie ends with Morgan Freeman. And then, also, of course, then there's Kevin Spacey in the car. The dialogue is so amazing. And he explains why, you killed innocent people. Really, I killed innocent people. And he goes into explanation of why these people were innocent. And he goes, only in a world this shitty can you say the people I killed were innocent. And it was just great. That was a great dialogue. Kevin Spacey was so awesome in this movie. And then, of course, there was Morgan Freeman, who at the very end of this movie had this great voiceover where I don't remember. It was along the basis of whoever said, okay, I can't remember the exact quote, and it's pissing me off. It was along the lines of whoever said that I actually don't remember the quote, so I'm not going to try to say it, but it was a really good quote. I can't believe I forgot it, but God, this movie was awesome, and it's one of my favorite Brad Pitt movies ever. And it's awesome. This movie's so good. Number 3 on my list is Silence of the Lambs. So yeah. That was a spoiler earlier. Silence of the Lambs is my third favorite movie ever. Favorite serial killer movie ever. This movie is fucking awesome. I already reviewed it earlier tonight, so I'm just going to keep my stuff really low. Like I said, awesome movie. It's awesome. Go watch it. Go watch it now. It's awesome. This movie is so great. And the best part of this movie was literally the final moments of him being on the phone with Clarice saying, she's like, oh, what are you going to do now? He's like, I'm having a friend for dinner. And then he just gets on a plane. He's going to go eat someone. And then there's also a sequel to this movie, apparently, called Hannibal. Now, there's a show I watched called Hannibal, which is it's kind of a prequel, technically. It's got the main antagonist from Casino Royale playing Hannibal. He's great. And it's got Lawrence Fishburne. But other than that, they've got fucking Hannibal, the movie Hannibal, which is an actual sequel. It came out in 2003. It's on my Netflix list. I've been meaning to watch it. So I'm going to check that shit out, because Anthony Hopkins is great. And also, I learned that Anthony Hopkins plays Thor's dad in the Thor movies. I never put the pieces together on that. That's fantastic. Anthony Hopkins is a great actor. Number 2 on this list. This is the only movie on this list that's not super dark. And this movie is kind of dark. Some fucked up shit happens in this movie. But this is the only movie on my list that doesn't really involve... Well, there is a death in this movie, but it doesn't involve, murder, really. At all. Yeah, okay. Number 1, kind of, but I'm not going to spoil that yet. But number 2 on my list is The Big Lebowski. Big Lebowski stars Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, and Steve Buscemi. Jamie, you know how much I love Steve Buscemi.
Oh, Buscemi. Buscemi and his creepy stash.
Oh, Buscemi is so awesome. It's so good. Jeff Bridges is one of my favorite actors ever. I love John Goodman, and I fucking love Steve Buscemi is one of my favorite actors too. But Steve Buscemi is amazing. And Steve Buscemi doesn't play a huge role in this movie, but he does at the same time. Also, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who recently died, was in this movie, and I didn't know that. I never put that piece together, but Philip Seymour Hoffman's in this movie, so that was cool. Basically, the premise is that this stoner gets involved where these Asians... Oh, that wasn't racist. It's not racist. In the movie, they call them Chinamen, so I don't think me calling them Asian is as racist as what they call them in the movie, so I'm just saying. So yeah, these Asians break into... Well, one of them was Asian. Break into this house, and they pee on his rug. He's like, that's my fucking rug, man! And then basically that leads in... They think he's another Jeffrey Lebowski. And this Jeffrey Lebowski is a huge, big wig, basically, a corporate big wig, and he goes to talk to me, he's like, Mr. Lebowski, I'm sorry, but, no, I'm not helping you, you're a bum, and he's like, please give me a rug, man, and then he kind of just convinces Philip Seymour Hoffman that he said he could take a rug, so he takes a rug, and then also you learn that, the old Lebowski, who he can't even walk, he's, paralyzed and stuff, from the waist down, I believe. So also you learn that his wife is a whore, and that's the whole reason they were after him with the money, was because she's a whore. And also she plays, oh god, I cannot think of her name off the top of my head, but she is in the Big Lebowski, or she's in the Big Lebowski, she's in American Pie. She plays Vicky in American Pie. And basically she's a $1,000,000 money machine. But then that didn't happen, you know. No blowjobs for Jeff Bridges. And then this movie, I don't even know how I can describe the plot of this movie. The weird special agent from Transformers plays this bowler named Jesus, who says, "Nobody fucks with the Jesus." That's great. Oh, Jesus is great. You know, the character Jesus is great. You know, man, he's pretty cool. And then a lot of this movie is so like if I tried to explain this entire plot to you, I would confuse myself because you have to watch this movie to truly understand the plot and what's going on. Basically, there's a lot of coolness. There's a lot of great, outstanding characters. There's a lot of fun acting. It's a fun time. It's just a movie you can sit back and relax and watch. And it's a movie. I own the Steelbook edition. It's my favorite movie by the Coen brothers. Oh, God, this movie is really fucking good. I recommend go see The Big Lebowski right now. It's awesome. And Jeff Bridges is awesome. And also inspired those Abide shirts that no one cares about anymore. So there's that. I'm just saying. Number one on my list. Number one on my list. We are at number uno. Not only does this movie feature my favorite actor of all time, it features a singer. Yeah, it features a singer. It features an actor. It features another actor. It features many actors. And it's based off of a book. But what book? A lot of you probably don't even know. If you know me, a lot of you probably know my favorite movie of all time is already. But here's the thing. This movie is a awesome, amazing. It fucks with your mind. It is a... You think it's going to be a movie that's like, oh yeah, these guys are going to do this, but no, this movie is a psychological thriller. It is amazing. Whenever, it was one of those things where me and my buddy Zach, we were like, hey, he said, man, you got to watch this movie, and I'm like, holy shit, man. Yeah, we should watch that movie, you know, I've heard good things about it, and it wasn't the movie I thought it was. I thought he was talking about a different movie. So then we watched this movie, and I was like, okay, it's just going to be blah, blah, blah. And I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, this movie is so good. And basically, God, this movie is amazing. You know, I don't even know how to see that anymore. Okay, here's the thing. The first rule of this movie, you do not talk about this movie. Second rule of this movie, you do not talk about this movie. What movie do you not talk about? Fight Club. Fight Club is my favorite movie ever. This movie is fucking amazing. Watch it. Edward Norton plays a dude with insomnia, so he goes to these fucking... like all these conventions, you know, like it's kind of like AA meetings, but it's like a support group for people who like have AIDS and like stuff. And he meets, of course. Then there's Bob with his bitch tits, played by Meatloaf, who's the singer in this movie. Then of course you got Helen Bowen Carter, who does the exact same thing that Edward Norton does, leading to this great line where he says, "If I had a tumor, I'd name it Marla," because that's her character's name. It's so good. And this movie is so good. I won't. I kind of spoiled some of the others. I will not spoil this movie. This movie's ending is amazing. I can't even spoil it for you because if you guys haven't seen it, you have to watch it from me to the ending. Brad Pitt plays Tyler Durden, who he makes and sells soap, and he meets. Edward Norton's character doesn't have a name in this movie. He's just known as the narrator. He has no name. It's weird. But so Edward Norton's character, or the narrator, whatever. I'm just calling him Edward Norton. So Edward Norton's all like, "Oh yeah," and he meets Tyler Durden, and him and Tyler Durden start becoming friends. And then, you know, narrator's house gets blown up, or his apartment accidentally blows up. And he's like, well, shit. And then him and Tyler are like, hey, they just kind of start fighting outside. He's like, hey, come on, man, why don't you hit me? What do you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight. And it turns into this underground fight club, you know. Yeah, Jamie, that's where I got that idea from. Yeah. And that's an inside joke. None of you all will get, Kyle will get it, but no one else will get it. And it's just one of those things where... God, and they just start this fight club and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's just amazing, and then the whole thing just gets out of hand. That's the best thing I can say about this movie. Ah, God, this movie's so good. I want to review this movie. I need to review this movie, man. This movie has mischief and mayhem and soap, and it's awesome. This movie is so good, man. This is my favorite Brad Pitt movie ever. I don't even like Brad Pitt. He was amazing in this movie. It's the best movie he's ever been in. This movie is fantastic. Edward Norton is my favorite actor ever, and he's fantastic in this movie. God damn, watch this movie. I love this movie so much, I can't even spoil it for you. It's so good. Watch this fucking movie. God damn it. God, this movie is so good. And another thing I will say is this. God, this movie is awesome. This movie is so good. This movie is awesome. This movie is fucking awesome. Go watch it now. That's all I'm going to say. Fight Club is my favorite movie ever. Go fucking watch it. Like, I'm looking at the Blu-ray. I'm touching the Blu-ray. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
it's that good. All right.
Watch this movie. Watch this movie.
It's that.
Do it now.
It's that damn good.
It's that damn good. This movie taught me I'm not a special and unique snowflake as well. There's that. You know. Oh my God, watch Fight Club, man. Fight Club is so. Everyone watch Fight Club. If honestly, I'm not gonna lie, they should show Fight Club in schools. They should show it everywhere, so everyone can just watch Fight Club and be like, "Holy shit, this is the greatest movie ever." Because it is. Fight Club. Tyler Durden for president. Yes.
I really enjoyed this.
I should buy a red leather jacket.
Now that I said I like this top 5 because it wasn't wrestling oriented.
Yeah, it's a nice change. We don't ever really rank that stuff.
Yeah, and it was really good. And you know what? This was the most difficult top 5 I've had to do because I actually had to sit down and think about it.
Yeah, and also, as you know, I informed you today of the next 2 weeks' top 5. Next week's is top 5 favorite TV shows ever.
Oh, my number 1 is simple.
I know, Jamie, I know what yours is.
My number 1 is simple. You know it. I'm not going to say it. You got to wait till next week, but my number 1 is simple. Simple.
Oh my God, yes. And
for those of you that know me, you know what my favorite TV show is of all time.
The Walking Dead.
Oh, totally. I cannot get enough of... What the fuck's his name?
Yeah, I don't like The Walking Dead. You can't get enough Daryl.
Daryl, that's his name. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, okay, now, just for reference, that was not a spoiler. Neither of us watched that fucking show, but Jamie plays the game.
The Walking Dead game is fucking amazing, people. Go out and play that shit. Not the friggin' first-person shooter one that came out. That one's cool. Go play the episodic game that's available on Xbox and PlayStation. Go play that shit. Because it is a game where when you make choices, you feel like a dick afterwards because you see the result of your choices. And if you like that game developer, check out The Wolf Among Us. It's a good game. I'm thinking about getting that one. Not sure if I will, but I'm thinking about it.
It's good. I liked it.
Yeah, so, anyways, we should move on to Raw there before we wrap everything up.
Raw. Okay, I gotta get off my fucking Fight Club high. Holy shit.
Okay. Alright, people.
God, I got on a fight. When I get on a Fight Club high, I just can't stop.
Monday Night Raw, this past Monday night, the second last Raw to WrestleMania 30. We are now on the Wrestling Talk here, so, things are shaping up to be really good. Here is my one thing, though. Okay, and just for some reason, this is like the first thing that came to mind. When Triple H was doing that thing with Cole in the ring there, I like that a lot, but I really think he needs to stop taking shots at CM Punk. I'm just saying. Because the whole reality era thing... Yeah,
it's like, I love it, but it needs to stop.
The whole reality era thing, Punk did that in 2011... He really needs to stop taking shots at Punk. I mean, yeah, sure, it's funny here and there, but, I mean, when you consistently do it, I mean, I get it that Triple H feels insulted because, and this apparently is a story that Punk didn't feel that a match with Triple H was big time for him. And, Triple H feels insulted by that, I get it. And, I mean, but, I mean, I really don't see the need to take pot shots. I mean, every single week. If you do it, every once in a while, that's fine. But if it's, a consistent thing, and it gets fresh on everyone's mind, the fact that Punk left and everything, but I think he should start to fade it out a little bit. They're funny, definitely, but
I love them. It just, stop. It makes you look stupid.
Yeah. So...
Okay, but basically the thing with Raw is it was a great show. I thought it had 3 really good matches. Some good segments.
Yeah.
The Shield and Real Americans was good. We got 2 matches announced. Well, technically 3, but one of those matches was added onto during main events. And then, of course, we have... what was I thinking of? We got 9 guys added to the greatest battle royal ever. It's going to be so good. Oh, my God. It's going to be so great. And then, like I said, guys, we just got so many awesome... We have 8 official WrestleMania matches. It's going to be cool. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be pretty good, guys. People have been about it at first, but then the card is shaping up to be pretty good WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good.
The past 3 weeks, they've really saved WrestleMania.
Oh, they really have.
They
And
have
I think
saved
it's going to be a great Mania with some great matches.
I mean, like, I wasn't thinking that they were actually going to stick to Orton versus Batista at Mania. I really didn't think that they were going to do that. But, you know, I must say they've really. I think even Kyle said this last night during Raw. Like, you know, they're kicking Mania, or they're kicking the build, to, you know, like in overdrive, and they're doing really really good at it. I mean, like the build is really good. Daniel Bryan not being on Raw was very very smart. You know, because he's selling the fact that he was injured last week. That was really good. I didn't see fans' reactions to it. I'm assuming that most of them are most likely negative. But when you look at it from a storyline perspective, it's really good. Because, you know, if Bryan just showed up, then, you know, that kind of makes Hunter look weak. So. But overall, I thought that Raw was really good. And I think you even said this last night that, you know, it's like we got one good match for each hour of Raw. So, like, the first hour had something good, second hour had something really good, and so on. My one true highlight from Raw was probably when Vicky called AJ a bitch.
That was hilarious.
I thought that was great. And, you know, I don't blame them for making a multi-diva match, because honestly, like, they want to put as many people on the card as possible, and apparently it's being called like a Divas Championship Invitational. Not sure what the rules will be. I doubt that they'll have 2 Battle Royals in one night. So, like, I don't know if they want to make.
It's a 15 diva match. I mean, it's crazy.
I would say make it a 15 diva elimination match. You can quickly start eliminating people, because I mean, like, okay, if they make it an elimination style match, it'll probably go by as fast, just as the Divas Battle Royals that they have done in the past. My preferences, though, for winning that match, because I truly do think that AJ is going to lose it at Mania. I am going. My 3 picks for that match are Natalya, Brie Bella, and Naomi.
Those are the 3 who I would most like to see win, but part of me feels like Tamina has a chance.
Tamina winning wouldn't really shock me all that much. I think I don't want to say that she's overdue for a title run, but I mean, I've never really seen her, like, you know, as top diva, top women's wrestler. I don't really know what the word I'm looking for. I guess she's missing the it factor, I guess, if you want to say that.
Yes, definitely.
At least to me. But yeah, so the card for Mania is shaping up really well. I'm liking the direction that they're going in. And they have one final Raw between now and WrestleMania, and apparently next week Batista and Orton will be facing off, and Stephanie slapping the glasses off of Batista was hilarious.
It was.
Yeah, and also apparently he ripped his jeans on the way out. I didn't notice that until I saw a meme of it made, but apparently Batista did rip his jeans, and they didn't look like they were skinny jeans. So that was
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, overall I thought that Raw was really good, well built. And yeah, so those are my overall thoughts on it.
My thing with it is I think they're building up Cena and Wyatt really well.
Yes, the whole thing with
really like that. That was great.
That I mean like that was really good. And Cena and I think Harper is the guy he faced. Him and Harper,
yeah, indeed,
put on a really good TV match. And the fact that Cena came close to winning that, and then like the lights going out and doing the whole Wyatt thing, and then, you know, the lights come back on, and Cena's in the ropes and he's got the sheet mask on him. I mean, that stuff is great. This whole Cena Wyatt thing is being built up very well. That video package is tremendous.
Oh, it's so good.
The fact that they're using an Eminem song on WWE TV just is probably my favorite part. Because I never thought that they would ever use Eminem on WWE. But I mean, like, you know, it's just really good. And, you know, like that whole thing there when Cena was like in the bathroom and he's like washing his face stuff, he looks up and the sheet mask is there, and I mean, like, yeah, sure, you can throw out a few jokes there, but still, it was really good stuff.
Yeah, and then of course, like I said, it's just the mind games, and it worries me a little bit that Cena could win this match, but I don't know. If it's a good match, it doesn't matter who wins.
Yeah, really. As much as I would like to see Wyatt win, like you said, if it's a really good match, if Cena wins, it's not going to bother me because he pulled out a good match, or he pulled a good match out of Wyatt. And I mean, like, you go back and forth on say no, Wyatt pulled out of Cena, whatever. Cena is the veteran here, whether you like it or not. Cena is the veteran. So,
yes,
when you look at it, he's the one that pulled the match out of Wyatt. So,
I'm looking forward to that match. And like we got a few guys added to the Battle Royal. No one cares. I'm not gonna talk about the Scooby-Doo thing. I don't care. And then it's just but we got Kane and the New Age Outlaws versus the Shield, which we kind of assumed was gonna happen, has been announced.
Yep.
So I think there'll be a solid match.
Yep, and also the match that you told, or that you mentioned, with Ryback, the Usos, Swagger, and Cesaro, and Matadors. That match I'm thinking will be really good. Again, I'm hoping that it's an elimination style, because if they really want to burn through time, then that I think would be a smart idea. But overall, I'm saying now, if you would have asked me 2 months ago if I was looking forward to WrestleMania, I would have told you not really. Now I'm psyched for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like with the tag team title match. The thing is, I know people were probably bitching about the Matadors being in it, but like, if you really think about it, they have no chance in hell of winning. I guarantee you the Usos are retaining. So who really cares? And first of all, it keeps them out of the Battle Royal, so you can add guys. So basically, if you ask me, the last 4 spots in the Battle Royal, put on Harper, Rowan, Barrett, and Rusev. So then the Matadors aren't in that fucking Battle Royal. That Battle Royal is 10 times more awesome because of those 4 guys going into it. And then the Matadors, they're not going to win it. They're least likely. And the Usos aren't dropping it this soon. It's so simple. It's just like people need to stop bitching. And like, Cody Rhodes and Goldust are in the Battle Royal, and they're not competing in a tag team match. But, you look at that. If they eliminate each other, that sets up for them to feud. And they'll probably end up, I guarantee you, you know what? Here's the thing. If Cody and Goldust don't start feuding by SummerSlam, then I will totally be fine with all the bitching I've seen lately on my Twitter. But if not, then I'm going to laugh. Because, like, they missed the boat with having their match at WrestleMania. But as long as this match happens by SummerSlam, whenever Goldust is supposed to retire, then that's cool. So I'm just saying, you got to be patient with this kind of stuff. The tag team title match, the only other option was Rowan and Harper. Rowan and Harper made no sense for it, even though I would have liked to have seen it because they had nothing to do with this rivalry and feud. The Shield and New Age Outlaws would have made sense, but they are doing their own feud with Kane and whatnot. And then, so if you really look at the only other team they could really put in that wasn't already in the Battle Royal, because Cody and Goldust would have made sense, but they're already in the Battle Royal, so simply because they're already in the Battle Royal. Los Matadors, they're not going to win. They're good. They're not bad in-ring performers. I hate their goddamn gimmick. Their gimmick is fucking awful. But they aren't bad performers. Like, they can get a solid match. Plus, they beat Ryback on Monday, who are the number 1 contenders, so it makes sense that you would put them in this match. So there is the logic there for you. And even though I don't like the Matadors, they're not winning. So just calm the fuck down. It's easy. The Usos are going to retain at WrestleMania, I guarantee you. So sit your fucking ass down. Everyone get off your high horse for just a minute, and quit bitching about Cody and Goldust, too, because everyone is bitching about Cody and Goldust. Let it happen. I guarantee you we'll get a feud with them by SummerSlam. Just wait. Plus, it could even start WrestleMania if they fucking eliminate each other and turn on each other. Just calm down. Everyone calm down. There you go. Like I said, I hate the idea that Los Matadors are competing at WrestleMania, but who cares? It's a fatal 4-way tag team match. But I guarantee you, Los Matadors are not becoming tag team champions. So just stop. Anyway, then besides that, we got some cool Brock Lesnar and Undertaker build-up. Undertaker playing his mind games on Lesnar.
Oh, yeah. And also,
that was a pretty good segment.
Yep. And also the fact that Lesnar practically landed on his head on the friggin' casket, but I mean, like, he still rolled over, but I mean, like, if you freeze frame it, Lesnar, like, legitimately, like, the top of his head, or, like, I guess the back of his head, was like on the casket. And, I mean, like, that shit was crazy, but still, I mean, like, the mind games, and I also like how the Druids have been coming into play a little bit more in recent years, because, like, Punk dressed up as a Druid last year, and Brock, I mean, he was trying to scare them off, but they really weren't giving a shit. But yeah, I mean, like, it's classic Taker mind games, opening up the casket, he's not there, shutting it, opening up again, oh man, there he is. So, yeah, classic stuff. I'm wondering if they're actually going to make this a no-holds-barred match, or if they're actually going to, just let it be one-on-one. But, that's, that remains to be seen. I mean, like, we've got 2 SmackDowns and 1 Raw left between now and Mania.
The SmackDown before Mania never accomplishes anything.
Yeah, the SmackDown before Mania is usually filled with, like, access stuff and, like, one match, and, like, the rest is all just like random build, or not random build up, but just like full of like promo packages. So yeah, basically we have 1 productive SmackDown and 1 Raw left between now and Mania. So
yeah, there you go, man. It's just like I said. I think this is gonna be great. They could probably announce. If I had to guess, I would guess they're gonna have 2 pre-show matches, 1 in the first hour and 1 in the second. I don't know what those matches are going to be, because the 8 matches announced have already been announced for the main card. They're not going to have, like, the Battle Royal, they wouldn't be building it like this was going to be on the pre-show. The Tag Team title match has been announced for WrestleMania, so they didn't say kickoff or pre-show or anything. So, like I said, I think I don't really know what guys they have to put on the, I actually have no fucking clue what match they're going to have on the pre-show. Because I don't know what guys they have left, because they've built the card so well with almost every guy on the roster that I don't know who they have left.
I give them credit. I give them a lot of credit, because they're trying really hard.
Because they put no effort into it last year, and they're putting all the effort into it this year.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like that they're making up for it, from last year.
No, exactly. And usually they only try 1 big match, but they really are consistently trying to put all the guys in the card.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, they threw every single diva into 1 match. I mean, like, that's, yeah, sure, it's random, but it's smart. Yep. But yeah, so I guess those are our overall final thoughts of Raw. So did you got anything left more before we sign off?
I think the build up to Mania is good. The Los Matadores in it's like the Los Matadores being in the tag team title match. Calm down. It has its reasoning. I guarantee. It's just they're not going to win the titles. Don't worry. I think WrestleMania is going to be a good show overall. So that's my basic opinion on that. Like I said, it's just WrestleMania looks good. The build-up is great. I'm sure next week Daniel Bryan's going to do something cool. So yeah, that's to look forward to. I think it's going to be enjoyable Mania. I think that next week's Raw is probably going to be great. This was a really solid Raw. So you know what? I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for WrestleMania in general. I'm really happy that this is the best WWE's been since SummerSlam. And when I mean since SummerSlam, I don't mean SummerSlam sucks. SummerSlam was the best pay-per-view of last year. So it's just one of those things where like SummerSlam was the last really time I've really like been into it, and like I got into it a little bit more with the Rumble, which I'm sure that took a lot more people out, and Elimination Chamber. But ever since Elimination Chamber, the Raws and SmackDowns have just been 10 times better. It's just been great.
They have been, and I mean, like, it's like you said, I'm just psyched for WrestleMania now because it's going to be really good.
Yeah, it's just like last year, WrestleMania 20, they made effort to get a lot of the guys on the card, and they are this year as well.
Yep, and it's really good.
It's going to be great. And you have any closing thoughts on anything?
Nope. I'm just really looking forward to WrestleMania now. It's going to be good.
Exactly. It's just fantastic. Spider-Man 2 is a great, quick recap. Spider-Man 2, awesome movie, go watch it. Silence of the Lambs, awesome movie, go watch it. We got all the movie news. Ghostbusters 3 is going to have new people. Television, there's too many stories. Video game news, Far Cry 4, Himalayas, Elephants, awesome. Assassin's Creed Unity, okay, cool. Fucking top 5 favorite movies ever. That was great. You heard us talk about that. Fucking Raw discussion. Our thoughts on Raw. WrestleMania looks like it's gonna be great. The road to WrestleMania is getting hot and heavy in a non-sexual way, and it's gonna be fantastic. It's been fantastic for a couple weeks now, but it just keeps getting more fantastic as the weeks go on.
Yep.
It's just really great. So, yep, there's that. There's that for you, just right there. And that was the show tonight. I'm Caleb Johnston. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheAwesomeClark. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at Jamie Lee Mack. You can follow Kyle on Twitter at RatedK13 because he does stuff here. We'll listen to Wrestling with Mac whenever we put it up, or whenever I'm not on it, but then C&C Reviews between Wednesday and Friday, because it seems like one week it'll be Friday, next week it'll be Wednesday. It seems like on Fridays it looks like I'm going to start doing reviews every Friday, a review, but this week I'm doing American Horror Story Asylum review. Next week will be Coven, because I'm doing reviewing all 3 seasons in order, just as a little mini series. I don't know what I'm going to review after that. You can check out my True Detective Season 1 review. My first review for the first season of American Horror Story is already up. Lots of great content for you guys, and tune in next week for C&C Reviews as well. I hope you all enjoyed it and whatnot, and do definitely listen again and subscribe, like, comment, let us know what you think.
Yep. So as Caleb just said, follow him at @TheAwesomeClark. Follow me at Jamie Lee Mack. Follow Kyle at ReddyK13. Follow Cameron, who is on break still.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say at the beginning of the show that Cameron's still, you're my guest host tonight. I forgot that.
Yeah, at that LSU fan. And also follow I guess you could call her a contributor every now and then. Follow Ashley at Sweet Chin Musics with an S at the end. And, so that was really it. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, and goodbye.